I am going to make a trading card on Inkscape and go through step by step what we need and why. But that's not all. I will also be leaving a link in this video description for you to download this trading card template. You can use this SVG file from the download link for your own TCG, or use it as a guide along with this video to create your own personalized TCG. Okay, so first things first, we're going to be sizing up the card, and I'm using the Game Crafter poker card template to get the right size. So I've sized the page perfectly to this, but as you can see, we can't snap it in place. So we've got enable snapping, which is up here, and then we have to go down here and click snap to page border. If we do that, boom, perfect. Now, the size of what it should be, if I control, shift, and D, it'll come up with document properties. Document properties, you can see we've got it set to 825 pixels by 1125 pixels. Right, now with the template, we want it to be the top layer so we can constantly see what we're doing, but we can't draw underneath it. So we have to lower this opacity a bit, just so it's out of the way a little bit. Now, the red line is where the Game Crafter will cut off, but it can sway side to side during the cutting process of making your own TCGs. So this blue dotted line around here, this is the safe zone. Every important detail that we need needs to be in this safe zone. So the first thing we want to do is create a new layer like so, and we're going to put it below the template. Now this layer is going to be for the border. Now I know not all TCGs use borders, but today we are using a border. Now what's great about Inkscape, if you are new to it, is that you can actually, well, it's a spoiler here, you can create these curved edges. So let's go and have a little look here. So if I click control, it'll mirror the top, where if I do that, it goes a bit wonky, as you can see. But that isn't really necessary, as the Game Crafter is going to be cutting out your own borders. But if you're wanting to print off something, you want to look a little bit nicer, maybe just smooth those edges a bit, and then you've got yourself a card looking shape, which is quite nice. Okay, so we're making sure that all the edges are snapped into place. Now I'm thinking we make the border the bottom layer, and this is why. Everything is going to go on top of here, and that's because we're going to want to create a 3D like effect for a card. Now I've never done this before, so this is actually my first attempt. So on top of the border, we're going to have the main part of the card. So in 95% of card games, you're going to see a trading card in this particular order. So what you have is the name at the top. So we're going to have name right there, followed by the card art itself, followed by the stats at the bottom. So red is name, blue is card art, and green is for stats. So I'm going to start drawing over these guidelines to actually create something a little bit more detailed, a little bit more towards the finished product. So I'm actually thinking an archway for the card art, just to do something a little bit different. First of all, I'm going to need a straight line. Now you can keep a nice straight line in Inkscape rather than this free-flowing one by holding down the control button. So we're going to go right across the board like so. Now, if you control shift and align, you can go to here, arrange by page like so, and hit that middle button. Now you know it's perfectly in the middle. So right, next thing we're going to do is bring this perfectly straight up like so. And then naturally I want it to mirror the other side. Now one of my tricks for mirroring is duplicating and then flipping it horizontally like that. So what I've done is combine these two pieces by mirroring it and then selecting the final nodes and then going to here, and then there we are, join selected nodes. So once I hit that button, they are now one piece. Now for the next part, because we want everything to be symmetrical and pretty, it gets a little bit scary sometimes in Inkscape. So I'm going to bring this up into about an arch shape. We'll say, actually, you know what, that's going to look pretty. So we'll do that. And then once again, I'm going to duplicate it by pressing Control D. I'm going to mirror it like so. Oh, I'm not going to do that. I'm going to hit that and the nodes have locked it in together now. So if I select both pieces, I can hover over it like this. Well, I can select them both, the final nodes, click that, and now it is one piece. Bring this down into place. So we want that locked in there. And I want that side locked in like that. So we've got our archway. That's excellent. Now the trick I want to do with the archway, just to make it a little bit more technical, is is just drag it up. Is that going to be too long now? I think that's okay. I think that's okay. So the whole idea is I want the name to fit at the very top of this archway. This line for me is a bit too thin. I'm going to expand it to a 1 just so we can see it a little bit better. I see that kink's starting to get on my nerves, but we'll just leave it be for now. I mean, unless, can I bring this down a bit more? Is that gonna, that just makes it too, nah. What if I bring it up? Oh, I think that's a bit better, isn't it? It's almost looking like a Burger King logo now. Now, that's left some good real estate, actually, on either corner here. So we can go with perhaps a circular-like design right here. I'm just going to put this here as a note. Let's see, I haven't really planned this out. I'm just seeing where it takes me. So we'll go with that, because that is still within the border. Maybe we should push it right up to the edge, just so we know it's going to be nice and symmetrical. So then we duplicate that, and then we drag it across, and we're just going to line it up with these two corners as well. The two corners being this blue dotted line right here. So that we know is nice and symmetrical now. So we'll go back to here and we're going to bring this back down. Okay, so we've got these two circles. We can put some stats in these circles, which is fun. Okay, so we've got the window that leads to the card art. We've got a couple of stat marks right here. Now we want something a bit fancy here just to pull the eye. This is why I want a black border in the background, because I want it to protrude a little bit. You know, we could put like a nice little number here as well, perhaps a third stat. And we're going to Control-Shift-A for alignment. We're going to get it right in the middle of the page there. And we're just going to bring it to the halfway mark right there. We're going to come out this far, and we're going to do a nice straight line onto the blue right there. So we're going to do that, duplicate it, we're going to mirror it that way now, bring it down till it locks in place, and then we're going to combine the nodes together with this button again, and now we've got this neat little shape. So then we're going to duplicate that, Control D, and bring it down again. I'm going to take those two, duplicate them again, mirror them, and then we're going to bring them right out into place. It's trying to lock in with the wrong thing, because I want this to just touch that right there. There we go, because that's how I know it's mirrored. And I think I'm going to duplicate that and bring it right down here, just so we give it a little bit more flair at the bottom there. And that actually lines up almost perfectly with that dotted line. So look at that. Look at that. Wow. So I got that pretty much spot on there. So we're reusing the maximum size there. So now I've drew this little box here. I'm going to duplicate it, bring it over, and it should just lock in place. You know, or not. Okay, so I've added the extra frame around here as well, and the card is starting to look a bit pretty. And we can move this over and it'll just snap right in place. Then if you want to get rid of the excess, you can hit 1, click delete, and then you know they are identical. Now, if I select both of them again and press D, Control D, I can snap them into place down here. Now, this is a little bit high. Maybe this should be centered with this rather than in the middle, but I do like it protruding. So, I mean, it could be here. maybe we'll make this one just a bit bigger. It doesn't have to follow the same rule. Okay, so I've added a few more lines just to fill in the gaps here so we know where we're actually drawing the details of the card art and everything like that. So if you take a look over here, we've got the guidelines. Now I've copied the guidelines into the card design itself because I'm quite happy with the lines. We're going to take them, use them for the final bit, and then I'm going to go a layer underneath and actually start adding color to the card. So I'll be back with you in a moment. Alright, so now that I've added the color, you basically have what you need for a TCG. But we want to take it another level higher. So I'm going to go into a little bit more detail with this TCG. We're going to add a little bit of shadow and try to bring a bit of 3D-ness to it that, you know, give it a bit of class that way. So the first thing we're going to do to add a little bit of detail is to take this orb and try and make it look a bit more 3D. Because I imagine we'll put like a number or a symbol on top. You could have like a stat, or you could take some of my free symbols that I've made in a previous TCG video. I'll put it up in the card link above. So watch that video, get the download link, and don't forget to like the video. It lets me know that I'm doing stuff right. Right, so I want to take the radial gradient like this, and straight away you can see a little something happen here. So we want to darken these edges, bring up the alpha to max. Now it looks a little bit like a Space Odyssey. It's like, I can't do that, Dave. So we could have that right in the middle, like so. Or we can, oh, if we hit the right button, we can bring it off to the side like this and start creating a shadow effect like that. And I think that looks quite nice like that. So I think we are keeping that. That looks great. Look at that. And we'll do it this side. The red really pops. The blue is just a placeholder. Don't worry about that. So we've got those there. They look great now. You could stick a number on top of those like so. Here's an example. Let's go with a number 3. So this one could be 3. We'll bring it up high. Probably give it white. Can we give it like a nice fantasy texture or something? That looks a little bit better. So do that, put it right in the middle, and of course if you want it to link up like that, just press shift and click both of them, and then click the biggest object, and there you go. That 3 is right in the middle now. So there's a nice 3 stat. And even if you want to add a little bit more flair, here's a little tip: blur it up like so, create another one, and then sharpen it. Now it's got a little bit of a glow to it. Just a little bit, you know, just compared to earlier, where if we get rid of that, that's what it was before. Crisp, glow. I think the glow is nice. Another thing you could do is actually, could you make it dark? You could make it black now with a white glow. You could make it, I'm not sure, green. Green clashes with red, but in a good way. So green, very noticeable. That also works as a nice number, right? And then that's going to be hidden away, so we're not getting in the way of the card design, but you know it's there if you just want to place some numbers there. So there we go. Now for this part, I think we're going to go with like a papyrus color. So we're going to like really gray it out. Okay, so now we've got this nice papyrus color. How do we make it look like papyrus? Do a lot of like scratches and stuff like that, just to get it a bit funny. So we're going to have a bit of this, bit of this. Now stick with me because I know this looks a bit crazy. All right. Is that enough? Let's find out. And then we're going to shrink this right down. And then we're going to duplicate it. Move it about a bit. Duplicate it. I'm going to turn it that way. I'm going to put that across there. Duplicate it. Size it up a little bit as well. We'll turn it another 90 degrees. I'm going to fill in that gap now. Just to randomize it a bit more, I'm going to move some of these. And this is a good little trick as well, just because the brain, the human brain, is very good at picking up patterns. And we don't want to pick up any patterns with this, at least not without trying. We're going to have to enlarge it a bit, just because it's going to be quite strenuous on the PC. So we'll do that, and then can even do the same effect again, where we're flipping it. Right, so I'm unlocking all layers, and what I'm thinking is we put a little gradient on the back of here. Now a gradient on its own doesn't look like anything special, but with a little bit of texture, it tends to show up quite nicely. So what if we just do, oh, hang on, right, we've already got a light source here. So we've got this, so I've got to put it this way around. So now we've got the same texture on the top as we do the bottom. Nice papyrus look. There we go. Like I say, if you ever wanted to change things, I mean, you could just completely get rid of the texture if you want, but it does look a little bit plain. So just adding that, you're getting a little bit of this. It's not too intrusive on the wording. Right, so we've done effect text. It looks quite nice in the white. How does it look on black? Yeah, it still stands out quite nicely. Okay, so I've went with the yellow because the yellow really pops with the red. Now we're going to start adding the actual texture to this. So we're going to go with like a sandstone effect, make it a little bit Egyptian themed. Now the first thing I'm thinking about is how this is too neat. This is too clean right here. So what we're going to actually do is change the object to path. Is that right? Object to path, yes. And then I'm just going to add a couple of nodes by double clicking, and I want to put a little kink there. There we go. I'm going to put a little crack here. See what I'll do. Go with a double crack. Classic. People love the double crack. Right, so I've gave them all their unique little styles. So this one's got a little kink here, a couple of there. That one's got one there, one there. This one's got the double here, and then a couple there. So that's great. Now, if anybody was wanting the perfected ones, I've still got the perfect circle in the guidelines. I've just chucked a spare one in there, so you are able to replace them if you so choose so. Right, so finally the stone texture. So we're going to do a couple of wavy lines like this. So we don't want too many of these anyway. So let's see. I'm just going to copy that, paste it there. Okay, so we've got a little bit of a texture there now. Now it's not very much, but it's okay, because what we'll do is we'll just fade it in like that as well. So for now, I'm just going to add a couple of half textures like this, just so not everything is right in the middle. You know, you want to feel like it's suddenly stopping sometimes. So that's okay there. So take your time when making textures. You know, you want to add that little fine detail. You know, people notice when you put the effort in. You know, if I half-arse this, people are going to know and people aren't going to like it. So I want people to like it. Now, the next thing I want to do is add a couple of little like stone chipping things. Oh wait, the shadow's going that way, isn't it? So these are ones that I like to do a lot when I'm making shard cards. Something like this shape. And you can just add these here, there, and everywhere. They're great. These ones you can really copy and paste, because a lot of shadows, those type of stone texture shadows, they do tend to look the same. So you can change the size of them up a bit, and then every now and then you grab one, you warp it a bit like that, reorganize the angle so the shadow is still pointing the right way, and then just go again. Right, we've done a sharp one, we want a smooth one. Okay, so curved edges like this. This is nice. So this looks a little bit different again, and we're just gonna sprinkle them here, there, and everywhere like so. Okay, so we're starting the stone shadow. Now I'm gonna start from here, and I want this to feel 3D. So the whole idea is I'm gonna start from there, I'm gonna reach the middle, and I'm gonna come up this way till probably about here, and then I'm gonna start just putting little chippings in here and there, just little random shapes. So that looks good, somewhere about there. Nice blue, like so. That way when you lower the opacity, you get this effect now. So this starts to look a little bit 3D, which is great. This is what we want. All right, everyone. So I've completed the shading. I've added everything I need to. I've even added a couple of the symbols that I was mentioning earlier in the other video. You can get the download link in that video. But yeah, so this is the card complete, and I've brought in a couple of card art just as an example here. As I said before, you can have this kind of minimalized like this. You could bring in a card. I thought this one looked quite nice on it. If we just lock that in place, we come out, we take a look at it. You can see the card art displayed very nicely on it. So you could even go on to decorate the border. You could color the border. You could go white border. You could have like a gray. Maybe you could go similar tone to this as well. I'm trying to think. Maybe like the shadow tone would just darken it a little bit. That way it's not as intrusive and it would look nice on the card that way. So that might even be an option. But just for now, I'll keep it a standard black border. Even tried like the imp. The imp looks quite good on the card. I'm not sure I might put that on the thumbnail. You would already know because you've clicked on it. But yeah, stick the imp in the middle of the card like that. And it looks quite nice, I think. This one as well also look quite nice. So it's a good way of showcasing art without backgrounds, I would say, because that's just black, so there's no background on there. Really let the character show off. So thank you very much today for watching me make this trading card. I had a lot of fun making it, and you should too. As you know, the download link is in the description below, but I do encourage that you try this yourself, especially with Inkscape. It's a great platform to do it with. So go and have fun, and I'll see you next time. Goodbye.